Hey guys, Gregory here, and today we're going to be learning how to play a very simple song on the guitar. It's Happy Birthday. It's a very good song to get into playing chords on the guitar. I teach it all the time. So I'm going to show you how to play it, but it's a chordal version of the song, meaning that it does not have the melody in it. And you may want to add the melody by either singing along with your own playing, or getting someone else to sing along with you, or getting someone else to play along with you on another instrument. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Right? Very simple. The idea here is really just to kind of get yourself into playing chords and to kind of start to understand how chords work with melody. So let's get into it. So to play this song, there are 3 chords that we need to know, and those chords are G major, C major, and D major. I'm going to quickly go over these chords, but I'm also going to link to another video that explains how to play these chords in a bit more detail. Okay, so the first chord, G major, starts with the first finger on the 2nd fret, 5th string. Remember to use the tip of your finger to play these notes. Your middle finger goes on the 3rd fret, 6th string, and your 3rd finger goes on the 3rd fret, 1st string on the opposite side to your middle finger. And we want to strum 6 strings for this chord, G major. Okay, moving on. D major is played by putting the 1st finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, 1, 2, 3. Middle finger also on the 2nd fret, but on the 1st string, and then the 3rd finger goes on the 3rd fret, 2nd string, 1, 2. And for D, we really want to try to play 4 strings from the 4th down to the 1st. Okay? Then C major, moving on again, goes with the 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, 5th string, middle finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string, and then the first finger on the 1st fret, 2nd string. And for this chord, we try to strum from the 5th string, go down to the 1st, and that's a C major. So those are the 3 chords that we need to be familiar with to play the song. Okay, so now that we have those 3 chords, let's think about the song for a second to understand how we're going to put that together to play the song. Okay, so what I was doing earlier is I was playing 1 chord every 3 beats. And that sounded like this. 1, 2. Happy birthday to 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now it's very important that we maintain that tempo or that rhythm, or that we don't slow down to try to take our time to make the chords. Because having a consistent rhythm is really what makes the song sound like a song. Otherwise, it tends to sound more like you're still kind of practicing if you stutter too much. So we want to develop the skill to be able to efficiently change chords at a particular pace. And that pace could be slow or fast, but it has to be consistent. So now we need to know the order of the chords. Happy Birthday is basically made of 8 bars. And we can think of a bar as a group, at least in this song, a group of 3 beats. So we have 8 bars, and in each one of those bars, we have 1 chord. And those chords are G, D, D, G, and then G, C, D, G. So we're going to try to play the song together now. Now, if this is the first time ever attempting to play a song, it's very likely that you're not going to get very far at all. But I'm taking a top-down approach. So in other words, I want you to just give it a try. And then afterwards, I'm going to explain what you need to do to get yourself to the point where you can play along. In other words, I'm going to tell you what to practice. So try first. If you fail, it's totally fine. Here we go. I'm going to call the chords. It starts after 3. The first chord is G. After 3. 1, 2, 3. And then D. Da, da, da. D again. 2, 3. And then G. Da, da. G again. 2, 3. Then C. 2, 3. D. 2, So if that was the first time ever trying to play a song on the guitar, it's very likely that you didn't get very far at all. But that's okay. I'm going to talk about what you need to practice now to be able to play along with that. So the first thing we want to be good at is we want to be good at finding chords on the guitar. How long does it take you to make a G or a C or a D? For a beginner, it shouldn't take more than a couple seconds, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. Not really sure of the exact timing, but you just want to get good at it. So if you're not very efficient at it yet, just take a couple minutes practicing each chord over and over, C, D, and G. Okay? The next step is we want to practice the chord changes in the song. So we're going to look for the chord changes. The first chord change that we come across is G to D. And then we also have D going back to G. Okay? Now, if we were to practice G to D over and over, we'd actually be practicing those two chord changes, G to D and D to G. So I tend to look at that as one thing. So spend some time practicing G to D over and over. G, take your time and just try to get better at it. Okay? The next chord change that we have is G to C. Same thing. We want to practice those two chords over and over. G, C. Take your time, spend a couple minutes on that alone every day. And then the third chord change that comes along is C to D. So you want to spend some time practicing those two chords, C to D, over and over. And the last thing, of course, that we want to practice is putting everything together. So try at your own pace to play the song. G to D again, to G, and then G again, C, D, and G. It's okay to do it at your own pace. And the last thing that you really want to do is to go back and try to play along with the happy birthday that I did before, or I'm actually going to play it one more time at the end. And that is your practice plan for learning this song. And all songs that you learn could be basically stripped down into a simple version of doing just that. Playing one chord per bar to a rhythm, and you will find that that is enough to really get the essence of the song going. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson. I am going to play this song for you 1 or 2 more times, and I want you to try to play along with me if you think you're ready. If you find that you're still struggling, go back and practice, just like I mentioned a minute ago, and then come back and try again. One last thing before we play the song. If you did enjoy the lesson, please like, share, and subscribe. It'll help me a lot, and I really appreciate it. Okay, let's go. The first chord is G after 3. 1, 2, 3. Da, and D. 3. D again. 2, 3. And G. 2, 3. G again. 2, 3. And C. 2, 3. D. 2, 3, 1. And G. 2, 3, 1. Okay, let's do it one more time. You can always rewind. After 3, 1, 2, 3. And D. 2, 3, 1. D again. 3. G. 2, 3, 1. G again. 2, 3. C. 2, 3. Then D. 2, 3, 1. And then G. 3, 1. There you go.